I am here to testify. I know plenty of wonderful people that if they don't have their coffee first thing in the morning, nobody should have to succumb to that form of torture.
Well, and I always say, the better the coffee, the better the mood.
And our next stop should have you jumping for joy at the Riverwalk in Jinx. Steve Williams took his hobby and turned it into a coffee drinker's happy place.
It wasn't until I was in the service and everybody drank coffee. You had to just stay awake for the long hours. But there was one point, in the craze of the fine coffee explosion, where I was working a late night and a friend had a bag of home roasted beans. And I, well, geez, I'd like some, keep me awake, and bet you they taste pretty good. Well, I bought some and I ended up going, boy, I bet you I could do better than this. They didn't taste real good to me. So that started my coffee venture as well over 10 years ago. And so I bought my first coffee roasting. It was a little tabletop coffee roaster, and started doing that, and it kept growing and spending more money. And so finally my wife told me, it's like, well, you either got to quit your hobby or start selling some coffee. We were fortunate that a local company took us on, and we began our commercial venture about 10 years ago. And what I found was you can have the best coffee, you can buy the most expensive coffee you have, but honestly, it's then customer, and that's what makes it right or not. Now, as a roaster, we try and bring out the best flavor of each particular bean, whether, from whatever origin that we get it from, Sumatra, Mexican, Guatemalan, etc. We only roast when we get orders, so it's always fresh. We educate our customers, whether they're companies or just people walking in, how a bean process works, the degassing, the flavor differences in it. But mostly it's just getting to know the customer's taste. And we can narrow that down to where they get really what they want, more than anywhere else. I've found that there's something else about roasting and this coffee business that I love and I'm very passionate about. It's where do we get our coffee beans from? We buy as much as possible coffees directly from farms. The reason that makes me so passionate about that is we get it from a company that sources it from women-owned businesses. The farms and farmers work extremely hard in very destitute locations, and they can work all day and pick beans all day for maybe $1. What happens a lot of times, they'll either need something to start their crop, or when their crop is over and they're ready to sell, people will hold off buying it. And so they get desperate, so they have to take a lower price. Our Nicaraguan coffee, we buy from El Recreo. They used to have 20 families, now they have 40 families living on their farm. Well, they built a schoolhouse, and that was the first time they had that. And it's not just for the people on their farm, but it's for their neighboring farmers. We support that, and we give them a very good price, so part of our money that we pay goes to help pay for that, and that's what we focus on. So when people come to us and they drink the Nicaraguan coffee, I hope that they know they're connected with that farm. You really just can't imagine how life is difficult for them. And so, if we can build up something that does help them, that gives meaning to us in this whole effort, and that's what keeps us going.